Good morning. Look at all the smiling faces. It's good to see. All right, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Central Texas, where we think more expansively, love more completely, and live more joyously. All right, and who doesn't want a lot more of that in your life? I'd like to thank Glenda for a wonderful meditation. Here you go for that. All right, good. And we'll get started with some of our festivities. Let's look on the top of page 4, and we'll say our opening affirmation together to come together in consciousness. And it says, we believe that there is an infinite power and wisdom that creates everything. We are expressions of this same power and wisdom. The thoughts, beliefs, and expectations we entertain with the most energy become our experience of life. When we change our energy and our attention, our experience changes to match. All right, a couple of quick announcements. Renee Amos, who many of you know, is having a birthday on Saturday. And today we're celebrating the birth of Henry David Thoreau, who was that guy? All right. George Eastman, who fathered Linda and married Paul and helped us learn how to have personal cameras and take pictures of. Oscar Hammerstein, who made great lyrics with Rogers and many other people. Buckminster Fuller, great visionary. Van Cliburn, who was very good at piano contest. That's an inside joke if you know what that is. Obviously, nobody else is inside but me, so that's all right. And Christine McVie of Fleetwood Mac, and Richard Simmons, who helped us move, and Cheryl Ladd, who every teenage boy in the 70s had on their wall. So there was that. All right, the book study is going on Thursday nights. The book is back there, or you can find it at any of the usual suspect places. But the Creative Process of the Individual by Thomas Trower, and we'll continue on this Thursday at 7. I'd like to invite Glenda to come up and do an opening reading and treatment. Yay!
All right. Today's quote comes from Ernest Holmes. We are born to be happy, to be abundantly supplied with every good thing, to have fun in living, to consciously unite with the divine power that is around us and within us, and to grow and expand forever. Ernest Holmes. So let's take that into thought and into a few moments of breathing together as one community, one family, one people, one life, one God, one divine essence, known as each and every one of us. And so as we open up our hearts and our minds to this magnificence that we are, the goodness of life that is before us, always awaiting us to accept, to receive, to give forth. We just give thanks for all that we are, all that we are becoming, all that is, no matter what the appearance of what is. There is a way to give thanks, to chisel away those things that keep us from being all that we are, the magnificence of spirit in this world. And so with grateful hearts, we just surrender to this time, this place, the music, and the message today, knowing it is of great value to us. And we give thanks. And we release these words into the mind of God that knows all, does all, is all, through each and every one of us. And so it is. Now, this morning we have Shawnee Kilgore with us. Good morning, Shawnee. Welcome back. I'm ready for you.
Good morning. It's just the best way to start the day. Actually, I already did the Sunday New York Times crossword puzzle, but other than that, starting the day now. So I went with a color theme today. Green was in the title of the talk. So this first song is called Shades of Saffron, which I assume this is maybe a shade of saffron. So we'll start there. And this is the beach dress that I was wearing when Waylon Nash and I wrote this together on the Maryland coast beach. Okay. Soaking in a lukewarm tub, half afraid when I look up I'll see 7 shades of saffron. There's nothing wrong with yellow hues, depending where you find the clues. Not the place you're trying to get your bath on. You only get to play the hand you're given. So take your time and talk it up to living. The elevator hardly slows before you're where you meant to go. The staircase hides until you're on the way down. Strolling down the old boardwalk, colorful as sidewalk chalk. Kaleidoscopic hearts can never stay down. You only get to shake the hand you're given. So make your mind and chalk it up to living. Lying on an unmade bed, stories from the Bible read, drinking wine and thinking about religion, staring at the peeling paint, feeling like a beach bum saint, trying to move the dial just a smidgen. You only get to wave the hand you're given. So say goodbye and hope that we're forgiven. Coffee from a lukewarm cup, half afraid it's looking up, feeling light in 7 shades of saffron. Pull the curtains open wide, let the clamshells peek inside, and ponder how to fit my better half on. Living life in 7 shades of saffron. Living life in 7 shades of saffron. Thank you so much.
Let there be light. And there was light. All right. Thank you, Shawnee. That was wonderful. And thank you to Rush Evans for producing that song. Good. Okay, you can blame RuPaul for this next bit. Why is it hard to play poker in the jungle? Because there's too many cheetahs. All right. This morning we are going to look at our perspective because it's something we look at a lot. It's such a big part of it because we're always using our perspective to view and interpret life and the world around us. And it goes on all the time. It goes on when we are aware of it, and it goes on when we're completely oblivious to it. And it happens on a conscious level, and it happens on a subconscious level. And it's eternally operating throughout our life. And there have been many studies and books and workshops and classes and all kinds of things produced to describe the incredible influence and power that that play between our conscious and the subconscious has in the living of our life. And it, conscious, subconscious, it's something that's hardwired into each and every one of us. So you know that I believe there's a divine reason for having it hardwired into us. And it's such a huge and predominant thing in our lives, and yet it's hard to narrow it down to a few words, but too often I think we try to narrow stuff down to just a few words or a meme or something that's a collective understanding and accepted viewpoint. And the problem with doing that is then I think that can lead us into lazy living, which is we're just kind of skating along on the surface of life, and we miss the deeper bits and pieces that are always, life is always offering and is always available to us. My wonderful teacher, Kennedy Schultz, used to call it lazy thinking, because what we're thinking about, whatever that is, whatever the quality of that is, whatever we're choosing to focus upon, we tend to continue to focus upon that and similar things, which then becomes our reality and then becomes our experience. And for efficiency, it's understandable. Our brain wants to use the least amount of electricity to process and move things around, information around in it. And so it will continue to focus upon the same or similar material until we give it instructions otherwise. One of my biggest awakenings so far, I should say, qualified, I'm still expecting more. One of my biggest awakenings was realizing that I don't have to continue to think whatever it is that I'm thinking about at the moment. I can choose to continue to think about it, or I can choose to think of something completely different. Okay? And the even bigger realization that came along is when I realized that everything I think is not necessarily helpful or right or true in my movement forward. I believe the divine purpose of the conscious subconscious thing is for the conscious to help us get more deeply involved in that which we can do to make a positive difference in that, and then for the subconscious to have some kind of auto response that goes on that helps us, that still serves us when we've exhausted what we identify as all of my resources. I've exhausted all of my resources. And you know what I think that is? A great big load of hooray, I said. Because it's never all of our resources. Never, right? But it's just all that we're used to drawing upon, all we're used to turning to, all that we habitually draw upon. Because there is a depth, there is a meaning to all of life, to all of our lives, and individually and collectively. And we get glimpses of it now and again, over here, over there, and we feel it from time to time. And we experience it for ourselves, and we occasionally will help others experience it for themselves. But too often, I believe, we develop and live from the paradigm that those moments, those deep moments of life, that profundity that comes along, is somehow scattered about and maybe elusive even. When, like so much else in our life and all that life offers us is not scattered about and elusive. We are. We're so easily distracted and choose to focus upon the most trivial and meaningless stuff. When at the very same time, the meaningful and the profound, the things that really matter and that can make a change in trajectory for us, are kind of pushed aside to make room for whatever nonsense we're happen to choose to focus upon at the moment. Because it's never life withholding peace and love and beauty and joy from us. It's that we develop and live from paradigms that tell us and convince us that life is doing just that, withholding our good. I like the quote that Glenda just used, that life, you were born to have a good time. 'Cause I was always thought I was born to be wild. But being wild is having a good time, right? Hell yeah. But life, one of the things Trower talks about in this book is he says life wants to have a good time. Okay? It wants to express itself in endless ways. And it does just that. It does that. Yet in our individualization of this very same life, we limit the expression by our limited ideas and beliefs and expectations about life and ourselves. Lao Tzu shares, the higher the sun ariseth, take two, let's try to take two. The higher the sun arises, the less shadow doth he cast. Even so, the greater is the goodness, the less does it covet praise, yet cannot avoid its reward and homage. Right? Over a lifetime, we learn that there are bigger reasons to do things. There are bigger reasons to try to make things better than they were when we came along. There are bigger, better reasons to try to awaken as many people as we can to greater living and greater possibility. So, what to do? As with everything else, the first step is awareness, obviously. But the awareness that is most transformative is when we realize that I, me, little old person over here, I am the bottleneck in the equation. Now, ego is not going to want to let you go there. It's going to start pointing fingers and justifying and making excuses and all kinds of stuff. But the great thing about this realization that I am the bottleneck is I start to understand just how much power and persuasion I have in the trajectory of what is and what's next. Because our experience, our individual experience is first and foremost influenced by our perception of everyone and everything around us. And we gather data input through our physical senses, through our psychic senses, through whatever else there is, and that's all processed in milliseconds, right? In ways that are most efficient. Then we become aware of choices of what we want to focus upon next. Now there's a lot more to it than that, and let's just say it's an automatic process which is influenced by whatever we've been choosing to focus upon most recently. Or it's also can be influenced by whomever we've relinquished our power of choice to recently. Because we are influenced by who we associate with, who we listen to, who we're studying with, what kind of material we're up to. And there's a lot of science that goes on being done around this process, but for our purposes of this morning, let's just agree that there is a process that goes on. It's orderly, it functions, it repeats, and it's fluid and it's influenced by multiple factors. And the more we get present and the more we pay attention to this, the more we start to see and understand that this process is always personal to us individually. Even when we relinquish control and subject matter to somebody else, our experience of this process is still personal to each and every one of us. Even when I try to blame somebody else or some nefarious conspiracy, whatever, my experience is still personal to me, and your experience is still personal to you. And we view and interpret the world around us, and those around us both near and far, by means of our location, our orientation, our perspective, and most insidiously sometimes our biases. And when any of those factors of what influences us are altered, for all the reasons those factors can be altered, the interpretation changes to match. That's what quantum physics is telling us, when the particles of matter themselves change when the observer observes the particle itself. Even what we look at repeatedly changes. It's always in a constant state of flux and change. Some changes are happening at a noticeable pace. Some things are imperceptible and very, very slowly. But when we pay attention to something or to someone, we start to notice changes in them, which raises the quantum question of, are they really changing? Or is our perception of them changing? The answer is, quite honestly, I think it's both. Yes to both. Right? Yes, they are changing, and yes, our observation of them are changing. And we start to realize that what we thought we knew in the way that we knew it is always changing, because as we learn more, we perceive more, and we imagine more. Dr. Holmes, our founder, shares, the greater your consciousness of being, the more automatically will the law flow from this consciousness into the acquisition of the things you desire. Looking out at this wide and wild world, it seems to be constantly changing. But again, is the world really changing? Well, or is it our perception of the world changing? And again, the answer is yes to both. But the thing to remember and to help be regularly reminding each other of is that whilst the appearance and the conditions and the effects are changing, the way life works remains absolute. It does not change in the least little bit. There's times we wish we could take exception to the way life works. Just this once, I've worked hard, I've paid my dues, I deserve an exception. Life doesn't work that way, because the change is always on our side of the equation. Since life is infinite, we're never going to see or understand it all, but we get little bits of it at a time. And the rate of that and the rate of that getting is predicated upon how present and how much attention we're paying in each and every moment. And the fits and starts in our understanding and our progress are never on life's side of the equation, only on our side of the equation. Now, another really cool thing about this is that a shift or a change in any one element or one portion of the equation shifts and changes everything else around it. Sometimes that shift, again, sometimes it's monumental. Sometimes the shift is incremental. Sometimes the shift is imperceptible. But the nudge that we give or the nudge that we accept from others shifts the trajectory of a forward motion that's always going on and always going on and moving forward. That's why we say the little things matter. The little thing is a little thing until it's focused upon with our time, energy, and attention and resources for some period of time. Then the little thing grows into something much more substantial. And that's yet another reason that we do our regular spiritual practice. Can you say that a little more holy? Regular spiritual practice. Because life wants to have fun by means of you and me. And that's also why it's so powerful and why I keep beating you over the head with it or nagging or whatever it is I do. Whether it's a meditation or a spiritual mind treatment or some type of shift and transformation that comes about however you help yourself shift and transform, the individual occurrence itself can be rather small in comparison to our entire life that we've lived, right? I may meditate for 17 minutes each morning, which is what I do, out of 67 years. That's not percentage-wise, it's a fraction. Right? But consistently stringing those 17 minutes together, or that meditation or the treatment, that little becomes significant. Not just in number, but in scope and power and influence in our life. Ram Dass shares, the point isn't to cling to one practice or another, one teacher or another. The point is to use whatever can, in this moment, open you to living spirit. Because that's why we do what we do. The next effort, the next idea, the next shift in perception may not seem like all that much in comparison to what we see in front of us, but it may sequentially be the one thing that turns that little tipping point into the pivot point from here on out. And what I've started to notice from paying attention over the years is that the variation, the permutations, the possibilities, all of that stuff is endless in scope. The tangents and the fractal varieties are multitudinous and yet eternally consistent and eternally available because it's all made from the same stuff that we are, that everything is, and it's all operating in the same field of activity, field of possibility. And again, that's what Troward is talking about in the book. There's an order to this universe. There is. And there's a process and a sequencing that goes on, and it repeats in each and every single expression. No matter how varied and separated and discombobulated the expression may be in and of itself in comparison to another expression, that consistency of how it progresses through cause and effect is the same, with the latest effect flavoring the next cause that comes along as secondary causation, and that process continues moving forward. Because life works the way life works regardless of the particulars. Regardless of the particulars. We will never know all the possible variations, and we will never know all the different things that have to happen to move us from here to there, from this to that, from now to then. And the good news is we don't have to know it all, because you're never going to know it all, so give that bit up. Okay? And we're never going to know all the ramifications and the end results of everything possible in each and every possible expression before we start something new. We just need to know a couple of things. We need to be reminded that the infinite variety exists in each and every place, in each and every expression, and in each and every person. So the end result is that nothing stays the same. Nothing does. Not that we don't like certainty of knowing that something is stable and repeatable. Our lizard brain loves consistency and predictability. But whatever is, here now, is the result of previous permutations of cause and effect, and the result of a processing and navigating through a natural sequencing of life that's always happening as it moves forward. Dr. Holmes goes on, he says, the infinite fills all molds and flows forever into new and greater ones. It is the unborn possibility of limitless experience, and we give birth to it. Now, a phrase, if you've been around New Thought teaching for any length of time, you've heard this. This or something greater. Right? Many of you have heard this? Okay, good. All right. I thought it was pretty widespread. I just want to make sure. But that is my perception, so I have to take it with a grain of salt. But I heard this first around New Thought communities. And it represents this understanding that I'm talking about. This or something greater happens to be the title of my talk today. Oh my God, is he just getting started? No, I'm actually almost done. So, okay. I'm done with at least this version or this permutation of this time. But the phrase, this or something greater, is an acknowledgement that whatever we can imagine is vast and as profound and as extensive as it can be, it's still limited for the whole host of reasons that I just gave you in the last 10 minutes. It's a confirmation that in an infinite universe, there is always another way, another idea, another possibility than what we can currently see, than what we're able to see or what we're able to imagine from our current location, our current perspective, and our current orientation. It's an affirmation that there is more to life, more to us, more available in this moment, more to know, more to experience. But we get distracted. Hafiz, the Sufi poet from whenever it was, more than a minute ago, says, I sometimes forget that I was created for joy. My mind is too busy, my heart is too heavy for me to remember that I have been called to dance the sacred dance of life. We are called to dance the sacred dance of life. Now, I thought of a little twist on the this or something greater, that since I'm a great dancer. I like to twist. And they said, no, stop, please. Stop. This or something greater, by its very phrasing, can set up a paradigm that the something greater is someplace else. It's beyond us, right? And yeah, there is greater good beyond us, wherever we are, whatever. But the only thing that changed to more consistently experience greater living is our belief that greater living is somehow beyond our scope. And the only thing limiting my experience of anything in my life, and my ego is going to kick me in the butt for saying this, but it's me in my life. And it's you in your life, right? Me and my current belief system are the funnel through which energy, possibility, all of it flows. So my little twist is this or something greater to this and something greater. Yeah, because changing that word from or, this is over here and that's over there, is like, no, this is over here and there's so much more. That expands the scope of our possibilities and widens our imagination and receptivity to something else that is greater, that is more loving, that is more compassionate, that is more life-affirming, and is more expansive. Right? Now, this reminds us we had some participation in creating the current experience, such as it is. So, as we had participation in it, we will have some participation in the creation of what's next. And this allows us to exemplify and live what we start every Sunday morning here with in our affirmation that we think more expansively, love more completely, and live more joyously, right? There's more to that than just reciting Our Father or whatever the thing is it can become, right? Because we take it as a rote occurrence. But the really cool thing about all this is that all we have to do is simply add another word, another simple small word, and that word is yes. Yes to more possibilities, yes to more experiences, yes to more expansiveness than we've ever known or ever heard of or ever imagined so far. In an infinite universe, there's always more. And that expansiveness is the key to our forward movement, our most effective shifts in perception and perspective and paradigm and possibility. And that is why we know that whilst we have grown and whilst we've enjoyed our growth and all the growth that came before us and that all the growth that's around us now, truth is we ain't seen nothing of all there is still yet to come. And all that is wonderful, and all of you are wonderful, and all of life is simply wonderful. And so it is now. All right. Thank you very much. Now let's look at our weekly affirmation, which is on the top of page 6, and also on a little card by the front door. We can go around there. And it says, no matter the current situation or how long it's been this way, there is always another possibility available to me right here and now. Good and greater good is right here. Just that one shift opens my awareness to greater living, and everything else changes in relation to it. All right. Let's give ourselves the gift of our good attention. Maybe take a deep breath or close your eyes or reposition your physical form. And just realize and remind yourself of this greater truth of life, that you are perfect, whole, complete, dynamic, amazing, and wonderful. And I don't think we hear that or think that enough about ourselves individually. And as we do that, as we think that one simple little idea, it starts to shift and change everything else around it in relation to that shift. Because the shift is never an isolated incident. That shift is always perpetually going on and pushes out and ripples out to combine with other shifts and make differences, make positive differences as we add something positive here this morning. We recognize that nothing is permanent. Everything is shifting and changing and fluxing and moving from this to that, from here to there, from now to then. And that process and that progress is orderly and it's repeatable, and we can learn to rely upon it as we observe it over and over again, as we experience it personally over and over again. And what we can do is intentionally work on the shift, work on the change, identify the bottleneck, identify our limited belief that's standing in the way, and realizing that greater good in all ways is always right wherever we are because it's omnipresent. It's wherever we are, it's wherever we can possibly go from here. We recognize that the good that life is and the good that we desire to express that is hardwired within us, that divine everything, is available to become more predominant in our interactions, to become more predominant in our awareness and our interpretation, and to help us grow and help us reach out to those around us and lift them up as well. We love this wonderful teaching in all the ways it shows up in our lives to help us remind us that the reason we're doing any of this and the reason we're doing all of this is to focus upon the sacred and the spiritual parts of life. They're not compartmentalized to a certain time of the week or a certain location or a certain group of people. It is just part of all of life. And as we tend to focus upon that, our life, we start to see difference. We start to see different possibilities. We start to expand our imaginations into more inclusive and compassionate and loving interactions. We recognize that there is greater good right here, right now. And we have made ourselves more available to it this morning by being here and doing this. And this continues on as we leave here. We are deeply grateful for this community of like-minded individuals that love and support each other and all the ways we get to do that throughout the week. We are deeply grateful for this time together this morning, this place to be together, the reason we're here, and the good that's happening. Improved, expanded, loving feelings that we generate and continue to share as we leave here this morning. Loving it all, we deeply appreciate it and celebrate the shifts and changes that have started, knowing that they will impact anything and everything else around us from here on out. As we say together, and so it is. Now, all right. And now we come to when we support this wonderful work we're doing together. We take the value we receive from the world for the value we bring to the world. And let's say our giving affirmation. We're going to just, we're not going to pass a bowl or anything. There's a bowl over there. Just all we ask is that you contribute to it as you pass it. It's the tip jar, if this is the way to think about it. Okay? But it's, you know, give with love what you can give. But let's say this giving affirmation together. It says, divine love consecrates my gifts. They go forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper. They are exhibits of my commitment. They do their good and perfect work and return to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is now. All right, and now Shawnee's going to come up and do a couple more songs. Yay! Yay! And are you performing anywhere we can come see you out in the world?
Oh, out in the world. It's my next Wonder What Wednesday. I just had the 50th one this last week. But August 26th will be the next Wednesday. I've played 414 original songs thus far. Cool. So, yeah. Well, thank you. Well, I enjoy listening to you and enjoy being here with everybody. And this next song is called Red. I have my red red capo, I have my red shoes. I don't know if I can get them high enough for the camera, but okay. And yeah, this was a song about one of those days where you're just in the flow, and everything is easy and light, and there may have been a crush involved. I don't know. That's not important, though. The backpack was red, my heartbeat was red, my words were all red in your voice. The skyline was blue, and gravity knew, as if falling for you was a choice. I never considered that I could stop breathing, so I keep breathing in red. Now wait for the signs, and I really don't mind. I have all of the time in the world, and when the night comes, I'll be grateful and stunned all the light that you gave to a girl. I caught the train, I knew it by name, the moment it came into view. The words on the ground were the first thing I found. There was no other sound coming through. I never considered that I could stop dreaming, so I keep dreaming in red. Now wait for the signs, and I really don't mind. I have all of the time in the world, and when the night comes, I'll be grateful and stunned all the light that you gave to a girl. I never take back the words on a page. There's no going back to a heart that behaves. I'll wait for a sign, and I really don't mind. I have all of the time in the world, and I'll brace for the climb, and I really don't mind. I have all of the time in the world, and when the night comes, I'll be grateful and stunned all the light that you gave to a girl. When the end comes, I'll be grateful and stunned all the light that you gave to the world. Thank you. Thank you so much. This last song that I want to do, I may have played it here before, but want to send it out to John D. Graham, who I always am just expecting to walk through the door, pop out from behind a tree, or just laugh from somewhere. So this was his favorite song of mine, and it's called Blue Moonshine. And yeah, I love you, John D. If you got a heart like mine, come on and let the blue moon shine. If you got a heart like mine, come on and let the blue moon shine. Oh, 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 I know you got a heart like mine. If you got a broken wing, come on and let the blue moon sing. If you got a broken wing, come on and let the blue moon sing. Oh, 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 I know you got a broken wing. If you gotta walk away, come on and let the blue moon stay. If you gotta walk away, come on and let the blue moon stay. Oh, 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 I know you gotta walk away. If you gotta let me go, come on and let the blue moon show. If you gotta let me go, come on and let the blue moon show. Oh, 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 I know you gotta let me go. If you gotta cry it out, come on and let the blue moon shout. If you gotta cry it out, come on and let the blue moon shout. Oh, 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 I know you gotta cry it out. If you got a heart like mine, come on and let the blue moon shine. If you got a heart like mine, come on and let the blue moon shine. Oh, 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 I know you got a heart like mine. I know you got a heart like mine. I know you got a heart like mine. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Thank you.
Very nice. Wow. You made me emote, man. That's good. But it also gave me a great idea for a talk. I think that your red capo, a capo is our perspective. And as you move it up, it's the same instrument, life is the same. But we've changed the trajectory of that sound wave. So thank you for that. Come back again. All right, let's now look at moments of gratitude or applying of these principles that have resulted in greater good in our life. I would like to say this was the first week where I heard the sound, that divine sound in Central Texas or in summertime of crunchy grass. You know what that means? It ain't growing. I don't have to cut it. It's had its run for a while. And then what does it do? It rains like all day yesterday. So there will be some back and forth for a little while, but crunchy grass has its purpose. And it comes along at just the time of year where I really don't want to get outside and cut the All right. And I'm grateful for the rain yesterday. We haven't had rain in a minute, so that was good. We got it like most of the day, or at least for several hours. Anyway. So anybody else have something to share? Yes, Clark?
Well, the rain, because our irrigation system seems to be sick at the moment, and I've reached out to a company that came highly recommended by my neighbors that has done similar kinds of stuff. And I talked to him, and he said it'd be a couple of days before he could get back with me, and it's been a week. So I'm not worried about it, because this all started with treatment. And the treatment was sort of around my husbanding of the land and taking care of it, and same thing. And it being perfectly worked out. And the reference of this person came about after that. The rain came after the worst part of the condition is showing itself. And I know that the best is yet to come.
Yeah.
And it's all because of this truth, this movement of energy,
Yep.
and the knowingness around it. It seems miraculous, but it's really natural,
Exactly.
but I can't stop just being thankful.
Yeah. Again, it's the singular occurrence that changes everything. And yes, that's a spiritual practice for the purpose of being intentional and making directing our energy and law and substance and the quantum field and whatever to it. But it's in everything else in life. I mean, if you start watching, it's just like there's a singular occurrence. It happens in our culture. It happens in everywhere. So it's a good observation. So yay God for that. Yeah. All right. Yes, Glenda?
Last week, we talked about
So do I. I've moved on.
what I came
It's,
away with was, what if I'm not done?
yeah, yeah.
And so that kind of still the reality thing. And I've never very creative with different ways. And yeah, it's like there's just so much more to express, so much more to be curious about, to try something different than I've done before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a lot of fun, and it's gotten a lot of responses from not only myself, but from one of the thing that happened was we're at better age today, so we get all these donations out the door, and somebody had donated. They were really beautiful journals. And I'm like old school type journals and stuff. They had a business logo on them. And apparently they were done with them and didn't need them, and so they gave us somebody said you get this box of them. I haven't found them yet. But anyway, they gave us all these journals. So we put them out for a $1. And nobody bought them. So they gave me one table, and somebody wanted to get one of three. So I took 2 of them. And I decorated it. You know what I'm doing? And I showed them to some other people, and they found 6 more to give me. So I'll be going up and making these beautiful journals. And it's been so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just what it is, to make it better.
Yeah.
So we're gonna better ideas, we make these better.
Yeah. Yeah. And last week was your greatest work, is what it was called, and it was about that. Still yet to be. People say, "Oh, that was the greatest time." It's like I won't get into everything, but there is an infinite life that we're in the middle of, and there's always more possibilities when we open to it. Anybody else? All right. Well, I would like to say it's very great to see our friends Liz and Debbie here visiting, and It's good to see you here, and Liz, I'm so excited that you're mobile and healing and moving about. So you got to that.
And we got Troy and Angie in the back.
And Troy and Angie in the back too. Yeah, all right. And Rush and in case you're wondering, Beatles Month has been, we do something the same way for 24 years. It's time to change. It's going to be start in late September and go through October. So it'll be a little cooler. You can all do that, but it'll still happen. And there will be radio made. And we will be radio. Rush is on 2 shows. We get on Off the Beatle Path, which is Mondays at noon, and then he has the singer and the song Saturday at 3. I know where you are. I know where you live. All right, let's say our opportunity, or let's look at our opportunity for application in your life, otherwise known as homework. Pay attention to the moments of considerations where you start to believe that there's nothing more possible. Remind yourself that life is infinite in all ways, and that applies in your life in all ways. And next week we have a special guest speaker. Get ready to giggle. It'll be our friend Reverend Melanie Colpart will be here speaking for us. All right. And just to add to the energy, our friend Lisa Clark will be here whipping up the keyboards. That's good. Happy birthday to Renee, and Thursday book study is ongoing, so check that out. And let's say our closing affirmation. Wait, we got 2 minutes. I'm going to speak slowly now. All right, let's see our closing affirmation. You can say it in any manner in which you feel that you can do. Clark did a great Victorian reading in Thursday night class. So you can do it in whatever voice amuses you. How about that? All right. It says, I am an expression of infinite divine creative intelligence. Knowing a joyful serenity awaits my recognition and acceptance, I take this moment to deepen my understanding that I am perfect, whole, complete, and dynamic. My soul is forever established in life, love, light, power, peace, beauty, and joy. I lift my eyes to the divine in me, in those around me, and in all of life. I step out into the world with an uplifted heart and a mind open to the infinite creativity of all life. And so it is now. All right. And thank you for being here this afternoon. We do deeply appreciate your attendance and your cooperation. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you. And your donations too. Yeah. All right, good. All right, thank you. Woo.